All right. With that, we will move on to our 20 through 11 list. Starting at number 20, I wish Soapy was here. We have from the Sacramento Kings, Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray. At number 19 from the Golden State Warriors, we have Jonathan Kuminga. At 18 from the Brooklyn Nets, I almost called them the New Jersey Nets, we have Cam Johnson. At number 17 from the New York Knicks, Josh Hart. At 16 from the Houston Rockets, we have Jabari Smith. At number 15 from still the Portland Trail Blazers, we have Jeremy Grant. And at 14 from the I said Charlotte Hornets. See, there it was.
Nope.
From the Dallas Mavericks, PJ Washington. At number 13 from the Atlanta Hawks, we have Jalen Johnson. At number 12 from now the Minnesota Timberwolves, we have Julius Randle. And at number 11 from, I almost said Orlando again, the Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon. Where do I want to start? I think there's a couple guys in the middle that I think are interesting. I'll pick them out. Jalen Johnson and Jabari Smith, two of the younger guys on the list. Kuminga's down there towards the bottom, so I guess we can lump him in there as well.
That's a surprise to me, right?
Yeah, so I guess my point is, which one of these young guys do you guys think has the best opportunity to grow over the next couple years on this list?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Your camera did it again, by the way.
I know. Keep talking.
Out of that list of guys, like Jalen Johnson had a phenomenal 1 year breakout. Jonathan Kuminga's got so much talent, but Steve Kerr puts the brakes and restrictions on players in his system. So I'm a little concerned.
What were the stats, Dave? What was that month's stats that you always like to share? The month
for Kuminga?
Yeah.
I gotta look it up.
You were you averaged 25 or something like that for a month. It was something that you kept harping on in the Discord. Again, Discord down below. Join the community. Yeah, I mean, Ricky, any of these three young guys or anybody on the list you think?
I would like to say Kuminga. I like Kuminga, but the problem is, we've said it before, Steve Kerr, I guess he's gone to the Tom Thibodeau school of hate the young guys. I want to see Kuminga ball out more.
Yeah.
And it seems like, he's out there, but then what? Leash is pulled right? Makes one mistake. Whoop, gone. Bench.
Yeah. I mean, if Kuminga could stop diving on people's knees, he'd get more playing time,
I mean, he learned it from Draymond with the, what was it? The Spurs.
Which one?
No, the Spurs player, right? The 3-pointer and landed on his ankle.
Bruce Bowen. No. No, you're talking about Zaza.
Oh my God, yeah,
Zaza. Zaza was a Warrior.
Yeah, no, what?
Yes,
there was a player against the Warriors. He went for a 3 and they stepped on his ankle.
Other way around. It was Zaza doing it to Kawhi.
Yeah.
Okay, Kawhi was the player then. I knew it was a player the Warriors were playing.
Yeah, it was Zaza on Kawhi.
He was going to that. He's going to that school. Take out the ankles. They take him out.
Or this time he jumped on somebody's knee. But I don't want to get sidetracked.
Body parts are the weakest. Most important to an NBA player's career.
Especially
Derrick Rose.
Especially a 7-footer.
Rip.
I think. Listen, Dave. I guess we just jump into it. Jalen Johnson, huh?
No, hang on. No, for the Kuminga thing, just real quick. Yeah, it was basically from January on. He was putting up 20 points a night, 5 boards, 3 assists on 55-38 shooting, which is 78 from the line. Only 2 threes a game. I know limited size, but I think crazy athlete, huge upside, and could definitely take advantage of the system. But I have this horrible fear that Steve Kerr is going to be nah, this is the Aaron Wiggins and Pajemski year. They're going to be the guys who are going to take us to the next level. Aaron Wiggins. Oh my God, wrong team.
Aaron Wiggins is much better than Andrew Wiggins right now. So
probably, yeah. But yeah, that was my thing. I really like Kuminga. I don't think that he's going to have the leash necessary to take that next step. Where I feel like someone like Jalen Johnson has a great opportunity because that roster is just ripe for the number 2. He is the guy, and there is not a single body close to him. Bogey is over the hill basically. I know he's probably not even that old, but
I think he's keep going.
He's 29, 31, somewhere in that range. But no, I think Jalen Johnson absolutely is the number 2 to Trae Young. The team is his basically to become that next guy. What?
I'm sorry, Bogdan's 32.
Okay, so he's a little older.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I
thought he was 31, no. I'm saying in my mind, I thought he was so much younger.
No.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, I didn't know.
He's been around for a minute.
The more you know, huh?
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jalen Johnson, I do think that he's grown his game. He's grown his responsibility on that team. We're going to continue to see how much more he can handle. If they are going with Bogdan and starting unit. That takes care of some additional ball handling. But if they go to that defensive lineup, I think we talked about with like a Dyson Daniels, maybe at the 2, then we could see Jalen Johnson get more touches, ball in his hands, see what he can do as a creator as well. And you can kind of see that, shades of what he could be maybe as a do-it-all wing, which would be really intriguing because he's got good fluidity out there. I think his shot's solid, so he's got a lot of room to grow his game.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was an interesting segment of players because I think we've all kind of rated the power forwards, the middle of them, around the same. I don't think there was much deviance is the word I'm looking for in terms of
disagreement.
Yeah, deviation. There you go. I think it's interesting because I think another guy is Jeremy Grant, right? Jeremy Grant is somebody, Ricky, I'll throw it to you. He is another guy I think that if he gets traded to a contender, which we've been saying for 2.5, 3 years now, could you see him easily taking a jump up into this towards the top 10 with his production?
I could. Like right now, I had him personally at 19.
Yeah.
So I had him a little bit lower than the median, obviously, of 15. It's just like he's a good player, but why does he got to be on this team, man? Like I just want like if he was in the spot that like Chris Mid was in, or Drew Holiday was in, like playoff contending teams, I think I would look at him a little bit more of like, okay, you're playing great and you're on a contending team compared to, yeah, you're playing great, but you're in Portland.
But he doesn't even play a whole season.
Yeah, because he's in Portland and they tank by the end of the year and they go, all right, you earned your contract. Just take some games off.
I feel like he has embraced the suck. Like,
would you if it's like I ain't going anywhere?
No, he's taking the paycheck. Like Detroit, same thing. Like
pause.
Hashtag embrace the suck.
Jeremy Grant embrace the suck. You better watch what you say.
Dude, Dave's talking about loads and now sucks. Like, what do you got on your mind, bro?
Dave, buddy.
It's always the second podcast.
Dude, it's always the second episode. We're recording this after our small forward one, which you can tell we're a little bit delirious here.
You guys are. I'm wide awake.
I mean, yeah, this is your prime time.
Yeah, it's my prime time, baby.
He's just waking up right now.
Hate it.
No, yeah, I guess we have to touch on it too. At 12, we have Julius Randle. So I guess we can kind of talk about the Timberwolves a little bit with Julius Randle. Like, what do you? I guess, but the point I want to bring up is like, I don't want to say it, but like, Randle is the worst playoff performer in the league. One of the worst of all time. He has the 4th worst shooting percentage in playoff history.
Wow.
And he is atrocious on the playoffs. I think it's 32% if you want to check it. My question is, do you think this trade is a vote of confidence in Randle, or do you think Naz Reid starts by the end of the year?
Naz Reid starts by the end of the year.
Oh man,
Naz Reid's better.
Yeah, huh?
It's a good take. And I love me some Naz Reid. Shout out Sean Anderson.
Yeah, shout out Sean Anderson, the worst host.
Yep. He's stuck up for Naz Reid when I made fun of him for his out of shapedness and how seriously he was taking basketball in college.
You also went to LSU. You know how those players pan out.
Oh, why don't we ask
Shaq
the
was
expert?
pretty bad.
It's a shot at Ben.
Yeah, Shaq was pretty bad.
No, they were built differently at the end. Shaq didn't have to go to college.
Yeah, let's talk about Antonio Blakeney, which is the real reason that Ben Simmons' team didn't make the turn. Don't get me started. Julius Randle. Like, what do we expect?
That's former Chicago Bull. Put some respect on it.
Again, I don't want to like take over, but like the trade for the Timberwolves makes no sense. Besides,
it makes contractual sense.
Yes, it makes cap cutting move sense. Yep. Right? That's the only sense it makes because Dante is good. Dante is a great guy they can have off their bench. I think, if I'm being, I think Mike Conley might be in a little bit of trouble because while he's great initiating their offense, his defense is falling off a little bit. Yep. And if you want to go Dante, Ant, and McDaniels, that seems more of the direction that I would be leaning. Which means
you can always throw Na in there if you got a team with a couple of guards. So you got 3 excellent defense. Yeah, it's.
But my thing is like, if you're going to trade for Randle, there's got to be better value out there. There's got to be somebody willing to take Cat. No?
I don't The Cat's got a massive contract. So, like, Chicago Bulls with Zach LaVine, you don't want.
I hate that.
So, Brandon Ingram.
It's just like, I don't know. I guess they were
as far as
forced.
big contracts go, you don't really have options.
They were forced.
There's a
He's
handful of
making
guys.
49.2 mil this year.
It's massive, and then 50, and then like 60, isn't it? It's something like it's 50, right? It's 50.
Yeah,
it's like
it's 50,
49,
then
50,
52
51
or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. It's an insane contract. I
I
just
just
like
think that you're right. That there might be other guys, but there weren't guys they could afford to do in a flat
Yeah.
deal. So
Let's
now
take-
they've got a more reasonable contract with Randall, and they can move Randall's $30 million.
I'm just
and he
saying
does have a player op, so like
I just think
you might say, "What?"
my pet peeve is that people are saying they moved Cat because it wasn't working and they need to try something new. They made the Western Conference Finals last year and knocked out the defending champs.
Yeah, but he wasn't the
Not-
reason.
But
He
they
was
no,
pretty good.
He was
And
really
they
good in that
threw
series.
3 bodies at
Yeah,
Jokic.
but weren't we clowning on him because he had that picture of him like sitting in the stands and he played like crap?
Yeah, that happens. Everybody has bad.
But like
has bad drafting.
they let's not act like he's the reason.
No, but
Ant's the
the
reason.
formula. But defensively, the totality was being able to throw.
Nas
multiple body
Reed
pick
also
over.
played ridiculous in those playoffs.
That's what I'm. Yeah, but that's what you're agreeing with me.
Yeah,
Is what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying that they don't need Cat.
In terms of team building, there was no need to make a move. They should have just
unless
stayed
you
with what
just
they
wanted to
had.
get rid of Cat, which I don't think hurts
But no,
the team.
the only reason they wanted to get rid of Cat was for cap.
Yeah.
That is and luxury tax.
I
I'm
don't
fine
think
with
this
the people
hurts
say
them.
that. I don't. It depends what role they have. If Randall's starting come playoff time, I think it does hurt them because the spin cycle will be back in full effect. Shooting.
But his best time was with Pelicans,
Yes.
and he is now back with Chris Finch.
Yes, that is the point I was going to bring up as well. Is that maybe Finch can bring him back a little bit to reality because I think maybe his ego got inflated slightly in New York, and he was kind of I can do what I want because Tibbs doesn't coach offense anyways.
Yeah.
Like if I give Tibbs defense, I get the freedom to do whatever I want. Finch is not that.
No.
Finch is not that at all. The only guy who has complete freedom on that team is Ant, and he's earned that. So I don't know. I guess my outlook for Randall is if they can get him in a more controlled role, then maybe it'll work. But it's just Randall and Gobert in a front court. I'm sorry. I can't look at that and be inspired. It does not inspire me.
He's going to chew through regular season minutes.
Yes.
And he's basically an option to slow down the pace of play with their team. Because everybody I've listened to talk about him for the last 3 days or 2 days has been like, man, he's such a slow processor. He's going to pound the rock for a couple seconds, make his decision in the mid post. If he's going to drive it, kick it, whatever it's going to be, it's not going to be a quick move one way or the other.
Yep.
And I don't know that's, everybody's very critical of that. And I think it's because we've watched it fail so much in the playoffs. Like to the degree, like you said, he's one of the worst players of all time from a statistical standpoint in the playoffs. It's a different look at the moment, at least for them to try out and test. And like you said, either by the end of the year, it's Naz Reid's job, or they're going to love the option of we have a different, way to attack teams, or he's going to get traded for somebody for $30 million. I mean, could be Jeremy Grant.
Oh, wow. I'd be so much more in on them if they had Jeremy Grant.
I mean,
oh my God. Could you imagine Julius Randle with Chauncey as his coach though?
Yeah, who cares? Portland's already dumpster fire.
Yep. Oh, come on. At least give Scoot a chance.
Scoot will be fine. He needs more seasoning. But
yeah,
I mean, genuinely, I'm looking at this as
seasoning.
This was a move to get a contract you could flip easier, and you ended up with Dante, which is a nice bonus for your depth. Like huge pickup there. Love that. Yeah. You got a bonus pick that you can then flip onto Randall again and move him for like Grant. Like that's what I would look at here. Or if you end up with a pissed off superstar by the trade deadline, you've got options to move, which is nice.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of these guys, right, with interesting seasons coming up. I think one of them is PJ Washington. I think he was so nuclear in the playoffs. Yeah. Right? His shooting was well above his career average, right?
Yeah.
Like do we think there's a fall to the mean here with him, like back to reality, or is
Snap
it
back to.
that reality there? Yeah. Or do we think that there's that's not that'll never be the reality. The percentage he was
Mhm.
shooting were insane. But do we think there's a more fault of the mean, or is there something in the middle for him this upcoming season? Like, what are your I don't want to say what are your expectations, but like next now with Clay, with Kyrie and Luca for another year and Lively next to him, we assume. Does PJ? I don't know. Does he turn more into like a second tier scorer now, like a second? What is the word I'm looking for? Second level scorer now instead of because Clay's going to be more of the he's going to be in the weak side corners that PJ was in, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, he could just end up, yeah, taking a smaller role offensively is my expectation, but his shot quality probably goes up because people are more likely going to be planning against Clay getting
Yeah.
catches than they are against PJ.
Yeah.
But PJ just gives them the benefit of having another body who goes at boards like left and right. Like
Mhm.
they have Gafford and Lively, which is just an amazing, 1 year flip for them. But PJ goes in the paint, he'll fight for boards, and then yeah, like you said, he probably is going to go down a notch as far as like scouting reports and everything. So even if they don't use him the same way they did last year, he's probably going to be still trying to just be a body out in space. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think he shoots above 36% from three,
No.
but I could see like 35. I could
Mhm.
see him holding steady
So
right around
yeah,
35.
just below league average. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
fantastic, honestly. Ricky, I'll throw it to you.
Yep.
Aaron Gordon kind of had a fall down year. We still have him at 11. Dave and I
Mhm.
discussed him a little bit before the show. His shooting wasn't great, but he was basically all defense and off on and weak side lobs was his whole thing. I think with Russ coming in, I guess that's another running mate almost because
Mhm.
the Nuggets are a very slow team, right? They're
Yeah.
very like Jamal Murray, MPJ, KCP, and Jokic. None of them inspire. We're gonna
No.
get out on the break and run. Now that
Mhm.
you add Russ, maybe him and AG can do a little bit more tempo off the break, off rebounds, that kind of stuff. Like, do you think again a bounce back here for AG, or do you think his shooting that is more of the mean? What's your expectation?
I mean, with me, it's just because I think I had him. I was looking. I think I had him ranked the highest. So like me, I had AG in the top 10, and it's mainly because of what we've talked about with other players. Of basically like you look at his regular season numbers, but then you look at his playoff numbers, and they're better. And he's a guy that I think the Nuggets like. You think about these playoff teams, and I think we've talked about it. We're not talking about their regular season. We're talking about their playoffs. When we harped on Kawhi in the small forwards video, yeah, he's injured in the regular season, but he played 68, but we're harping on his playoffs.
Mhm.
AG fits the role that he has on this team. Now Russ could help him, like you said, running mate. I could see maybe some lineups out there where Jokic needs a rest. Put Russ out there to kind of run that team where it's like, let me lob it up to AG, get the facilitating from the point guard compared to our center, which is still weird that they get the amount of facilitating from a center because we
Best
usually
player in the
don't
league.
see it. But I mean, well, how could you be the best? We'll get to it. Yeah, I value AG and what he brings to that team, and I don't think it's just I'm a dunker. He grabs boards, he can shoot, but he does whatever he needs for that team to win. And 14 points in the playoffs with his production, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
the defensive assignment he goes through is kind of that's where you're getting money from Aaron Gordon.
Mhm.
It's who he can cover, and to be fair, I think the biggest problem is the team that they got clapped by wasn't going through guys he would be able to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not a great matchup there for the Timberwolves. He's not a great matchup against the Mavs. I don't know in the West outside of like the Lakers are probably like the Nuggets are basically praying that they get the Lakers again.
Yeah, we saw how
Because
that went.
that's the team that they can beat. But outside of that in the West, I'm like they don't have somebody who can stop guards at the same rate, especially now that KCP's gone.
That's yep.
Like they are cooked.
Yeah,
So
I was literally having the discussion with Retro is that their off season moves this season have been questionable at best. Like this roster, there's been rumors that Mike Malone is upset with the front office and how they've handled free agency.
Yep.
So It'll be interesting this season. I think now more than ever, they're going to really rely on Jokic and Murray to be what they were back during when they won the finals, which is a lot to ask after we saw how Jamal Murray looked last year. The last guy I wanted to touch on was Dave. I'll go to you. Is Cam Johnson? Again, another guy we think probably could be on a different team when we talk in February. Like his contract is also, I think he's at 19-20 million a year.
Yeah.
Again, where do you think he could end up? Like, because I think we all agree he's a quality guy. He can one of the best catch and shoot players in the league, and he also is very, very usable on defense, right? So he's probably his value's fallen off a little bit from what it was when he was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But what do you think going forward for Cam?
I would love to see. Honestly, it's gonna be bad, but like we talked about Rui earlier, like Rui plus that 2031 for Cam, something like that. Like
That'd help.
him on the Lakers would be ideal. Him on a team who actually can utilize him in the playoffs would be amazing because it's Cam Johnson. Like I just want he came in the league at like 24, so like he doesn't have another 10 years left probably. I don't want him to waste too much of his career with the Nets. No offense, Nets, as you go on your tanking journey.
All the offense.
Yep. I just feel like I don't know. There's definitely teams who could use him. Like
The Heat.
The Heat would be amazing, but again, they'd have to give up something, and who knows what that would be.
Yeah.
Like I could see like OKC just be like, yeah, sure,
Tyler Hero. Sorry,
we want to switch for shooting. Why not? They don't need Tyler Hero though on the Nets.
The Nets don't. No. The Nets don't. The Nets should not care what they're getting. They just need picks.
Cam Thomas about to average 30. I don't want to hear Tyler Hero's name.
You know I'm here for that.
We are all, yeah.
I am here for Cam Thomas ball this year. But yeah, I think that
I thought the name you're gonna throw at me was gonna be Josh Hart.
No, I think we're gonna. You can talk about Josh Hart, but not because we're gonna talk about the Knicks when Cat comes up in the center video. I'll crap talk about. Yeah, Josh Hart. What do you think? He's gonna get thrown into the starting lineup now. We did not have him in originally, so
yeah.
What do you? Yeah.
I just think that what we watch in the playoffs is all heart, just all heart, all hustle, and I think that there are limitations to his shot that might rear their head yet again.
I mean, he ended my season with a 3, so I don't know.
So he was making shots that he had no right. It was great to see. Like, I mean, it was a magical run, and again, same thing, playoff buff, awesome. I don't think they need him in the regular season to be that guy, and I hope that Tibbs saves this man's ligaments.
He won't.
All of them.
He won't.
Stop playing him 48 minutes a game. Like that was I just watching him die on the court basically because Tibbs.
The Indy series, he was terrible because he was exhausted.
Yeah.
Right? Like you cannot. No human being can play those minutes.
Yep. So that's my goal for Josh Hart this year. I put him in the midsection. Like he's gonna be out there somewhere between amazing defenders every single position, basically outside of Cat.
Yep.
So his job should be pretty easy. He's a secondary creator. He's a do-it-all. He's like the ultimate plug-and-play guy. But I do expect him to probably fall out of the starting lineup.
You think? Who would hop in? You think? You think they're gonna go Cat Mitch? Is that what you're thinking?
I do. Yeah. I think when Big Mitch is back, he is going to take over the center role, and we're going to see that bigger lineup. It seems like the trend. I hate to be like whatever trendy about it, but
those 15 games will be fun.
Yep, it's going to be great.
Mitchell Robinson, we'll find someone else.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. It's funny because the last possession of the series, like I forget what the exact play was, but the Sixers helped off with Josh Hart from 3. Like they left him wide open because they're like, if he beats us, he beats us, and guess what? He beat us.
We live with it.
But yeah, if there's nothing else you guys want to talk about 11 through 20, anything, we touch everybody. We're all good. All right.
As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.